My first video blog. My name is Stacey. I go online as LymeBlue. I think I'm going to start at the beginning. Life before Lyme was fast. I commuted 4 hours a day from Wisconsin to near Chicago. It was busy. I was the mom of 2 teenage daughters. I owned a home, and things were quick. That's all I can say about it. I mean, I liked it that way. I really did. At work, I was the problem solver. Everyone came to me with broken items, and the copier wasn't working, and the computers, an ad need to be written. I mean, I multitasked so many things at one time. It was insane. And it was what I loved. In 2009, things changed. So in this area, we affectionately call our trips up to anywhere north in Wisconsin, up north, or up north. That June of 2009, we went to near Hayward, Wisconsin, camping, and we were there for a week, and I developed a target-shaped rash on my inner elbow, this area of my arm right here, and it was quite large. I showed it to my family members who were there, and no one saw a bug, and they thought I was fine. I had some dizziness and strange feeling that week, but I kind of brushed it off until I developed pain in the soles of my feet. I thought I had bone spurs or something. It was painful, very painful. I went to my general doctor. This was 2-3 weeks later, and I told him about the rash when we were camping and where we were, and of course the pain in my feet. That's what I was there for. And he really didn't do much of anything until I called him or talked to him on the phone maybe a week later, and he had me going for a Lyme test, and it was negative. One of the big initial symptoms within the first 5 months was the headache and the brain fog, they call it. I would agree with that description for sure. I described what work was like for me prior to Lyme disease. When the symptoms started to manifest, I could not multitask. I had blinders on. I had to focus on one thing in order to accomplish it. I couldn't read. Reading was a passion of mine. I loved to read. I could read a book 500 pages in a day and a half. I loved it. I couldn't read. I couldn't focus enough to read anything of length. When composing business documents and ads and things of that nature, I was dropping words, dropping letters, things that were not me at all. I had a history of migraines. I know what migraines are like. The headache was different. This pain on the top of my head has been constant since 2009. It hasn't gone away. I was referred out to multiple doctors, the first of which was a neurologist. He was convinced I had a rogue migraine that had just gone wild, apparently, and started prescribing me all kinds of migraine meds. Nothing worked. Nothing helped. The other symptoms that I was having were disregarded at the time. I was having what they term a seizure in my brain. It's almost like a electrical snapping in your brain. So I quit driving in 2010. Too many doctors. I can't even name where all I went. So insomnia is another big symptom. And one night I was up 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning watching late night television, and there was a show on about strange, mysterious diagnoses. And this gentleman had Lyme disease and had been undiagnosed, misdiagnosed, was in and out of emergency rooms and doctor's offices for years. And his initial test came back negative. It opened my eyes. See, when I had my initial test, I thought, there's no way I can have it. You test negative for something, you don't have it, right? I mean, that's what everybody thinks. It's not true. It's simply not true. And sadly, people just don't know. So until symptoms develop, and then it's too late. Once the Borrelia crosses the blood-brain barrier into your brain, it's debilitating, and it's so hard to get rid of. So 3 years after my rash, I saw that television program, and I started researching Lyme literate medical doctors. And I found a gentleman in Wisconsin who is now sadly deceased. He was an infectious disease doctor, believe it or not, but he became quite a Lyme advocate. People came from around the world to see him, and I was fortunate enough to have him locally. He started my treatment in 2012, and I had a pretty horrible reaction to the doxycycline with the sun. I couldn't even be near a window, and I would blister in seconds. It was a horrible, horrible reaction. So I was removed from the doxycycline for 2 weeks, and when I resumed it, I don't believe it was as effective. So in November of 2012, I had a PICC line put in, for Rocephin administration. And for those 2 months, I think I was at my best. The pain was at its minimal, and my brain was its clearest. But a clot developed at the end of my PICC line, and I had to have it pulled. So I went back on orals, and they just weren't doing anything for me. So at this point, I'm building my immune system with vitamins and herbs, and I'm on an anti-seizure. And we'll hit it again when my body's ready. Until then, I have some goals. My life has changed a great deal since it took time for things to spiral, but I lost my home, and my husband and I are now with my parents, which is such a godsend because treatment is expensive, and we couldn't do it otherwise. My job was, as of 2010, I was telecommuting through 2012, and my job was phased out, so I no longer work. Life has slowed down a great deal. I think too many people don't know, just like I didn't. And if I can help one person avoid my fate, I'll feel like I accomplished something. So I started LymeBlue, and we're primarily focusing on the Midwest. I think the East Coast is getting a great deal of attention. Ground zero, you know. But the Midwest is the big second migration point. It's quite rampant here. Wisconsin especially, and spreading into Illinois. Our goal is to spread awareness like wildfire. I have great goals, great plans, and aspirations for LymeBlue, and we're going to do everything we can. I'd like to keep people from getting to this point. That's my story. So from here on, I'll be doing update blogs as things change, as I have something to share with you. Sorry for the throat. I have some vascular damage in here, and they're doing surgery up in Madison, so we'll see. Till next time, guys.